Hi, everybody. Welcome to Live Sessions. I am here with Brenna Metz, and it's an awesome summer Sunday. Like, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
really happy that it's sunny out today.
Yeah. Where are you from again? I forget.
I am from Seattle area,
Okay,
basically.
so you're in Seattle. That's what I thought, but I was like, oh, I don't want to like
Not
guess.
directly in Seattle, but I'll just tell people that I'm from.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. That's what I do.
Yep.
Yeah. So here so over there it's got to be like in the pretty sunny, yeah? Like in the
Yeah,
high 70s.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's the best in Seattle. Summer in Seattle, you guys. If you ever get to go to Seattle, make sure it's in the summer because that's the best time to go because you can see everything and go. It's so beautiful there.
Yes, it's so nice when it's warm
Yeah.
finally.
Yeah. My favorite is like 75 and like the chill coming off the ocean. That's like prime or off of Puget Sound,
Oh
it's like
yeah,
prime.
so good.
Yeah. So why don't you give us a little bit of like backstory on how you got into being a musician and all of that?
Yeah, so my backstory is a little weird. I grew up wanting to, I don't know, like be Britney Spears, basically, if
Yeah.
I'm being honest. And unfortunately for me, that wasn't really a thing my parents supported me
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
And I was also very shy. So I had a lot of things I wanted to do, but wasn't brave enough to do them or learn how to do them.
Yeah.
So once I got older and, had already worked with other people doing a song in high school of my own, once I got older and got money to like take voice lessons and stuff, I started taking it more seriously and doing it more full time and finding a producer to help me like build a song because
Yeah.
I don't know how to play guitar. So like
Yeah. Yeah.
a lot of the songs that I want to make, I'm like, I can't do those things. So
Yeah. Do
production is
you
just not my strong suit.
do you like hear it when you're writing it? Do you hear all of that instrumentation and then try and
And then
relate
try to
that to
like voice
others?
it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
lot harder that way because I'm like, I
Yeah.
hear it and how do I make it reality without the skill set? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can also agree with that because that's also I mean, I could play drums, but guitar I could play it, but I'm not good with like melody or starting a melody. Like you give me something to play and I'll play it, but like I'm kind of like in the in between of like I can play it but not. I'd rather play the drums wholeheartedly because that's what I first learned how to play.
That's
So I
hard though,
totally.
because you're keeping the time for everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's difficult, but like I also feel like I feel like each part, and maybe you can attest to this, but like each part of it is actually kind of difficult because you have an integral part in all of it. The singer, you have to relay what you're trying to say and the emotion, the drummers keeping time, the guitars keeping rhythm, like it's like a whole thing,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I have a hard time. I write with my best friend and it's hard, man. It's hard to like try and be like, I hear this,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Like, how
don't
do you
even
put
make
that
that
into
happen.
words? Like, I don't know how to voice that.
Yeah, yeah. Are you like more like the hummy type where it's like na 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 or something?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Where I'll either voice note it so that I have something,
Yeah.
or I'll try to play it off of a piano just to
Yeah.
get the melody down on notes. But otherwise, I'm like, I don't know. I want the guitars to sound like this. And so it's a
Yeah.
lot of like reference songs when I
Yeah.
do starting a track with my producer. It's like,
Yeah.
this is kind of the sound, but also this song and also this one. It's like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's weird.
So you give them a challenge is what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, basically. I'm like, I want it to do this and I want it to do this, but also sound like this. And this is what the song is about. Ta-da!
Yeah.
Like, Woo! It's pretty
Amazing.
fun. He's great at it though.
That's awesome. Does it take you because of that like quite a while to actually make it, or are you
Yeah.
guys pretty good at it now, like in sync, or how does that happen?
Yeah, so it takes quite a bit of time to like just do the whole production part to the
Mhm.
point where I can even record vocals. The building of the song takes so long. It's so every single song I have takes me like months to do.
Oh man, yeah, I bet. Yeah, I mean it's for me too. Like if I come to her and I'm like, "Hey, I have all these lyrics." I'm more the lyrics person than I am the melody and music, and so she usually it takes us at least I think the lowest it ever took us was like 6 hours, and the
Hmm.
most was like a good 4 days. Like it was just so many hours, but over the span of time, but it was just like so long. But I totally get it. Like, and it's hard when you're like a musician, I feel like maybe you do too. Like you're like, man, I know exactly what I want and I know exactly how I hear it and how I want it to go and what I want it to sound like. And then you're like, man, if only I could just like transfer that information to your brain and you could hear it too.
Right. Like,
Like
why isn't that an option? Come on.
yeah. We have AI. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it would make it so much easier. Oh, damn.
Yeah. So living in Seattle, I mean, there's a lot of just a community of people for independent artists. Do you find yourself like really immersed in that like area, or are you kind of more on your own, or how do you go about
I
that area?
I feel like everyone says there's this community that I just maybe just haven't found.
Okay.
It's also, I don't know, every time I've gone out somewhere, it's mostly guys, and that's
Yeah.
a rough time where it's like, I,
Yeah.
I'm a younger woman. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to hang out with you for other reasons. I'm just trying to like make musician friends, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it feels like a slippery slope when you're a woman musician because it's a ton of the community is made up of men and
Yes.
they're either uninviting or they think it's something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I haven't really found a community, honestly, and I kind
Yeah.
of wish I had,
Yeah.
but
We
there's
gotta
also
get you
not
plugged in,
much
man.
of, like, I feel like there's not much of a like a pop scene in Seattle either, at least not that
Yeah.
I know of.
I mean, it's more of like indie pop, really,
Yeah.
honestly. But we gotta get you plugged in, man. There's so many
No.
great artists out there. We gotta get you plugged in. But I mean, just you're kind of in, I wouldn't say Music City because that's Nashville, but Seattle kind of rivals the fact that there's a lot of artists that have come out of Seattle.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorites or any that you, other than Brittany, like other than that you hear in local in town, like any that you know of or have like watched or look up to?
Any local artists?
Yeah. Or any
There
that have gotten famous from Nirvana or Brandy Carlisle or whoever.
um I'm trying to think of there's only like a couple of people. So like actually my voice teacher is a music artist that I've been to see her perform, and I have met a lot of people online.
Uh-huh.
And then just ended up meeting them. I went to a show. The artist is King Dao. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but
Okay.
he actually lives in the same city as I do, or performs in the same city as I do.
Yeah.
So I've been to his stuff and hooked up with him a couple of times online, but could I tell you exactly where I met him? No. There's so many online people that I met through this person, who this person
Yeah.
connected me to this person, and then you're just like, I don't know how. I just know them. I
Yeah.
don't know how,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
there's very few people I still know that are actually in Seattle. Most of them are like outside of Seattle.
Do you go to shows in the area? Are you pretty active?
No.
No.
No,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not.
Okay.
It's just such a bummer because I don't actually live in Seattle. So going to shows on like a weeknight is a kind of
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not.
it's an ordeal when I work like an 8 to 5 job and I wake up
Yes.
at like 5 a.m. to get there
Yeah.
in the morning. It's fun.
Gosh, that's a crazy schedule. Holy moly.
Well, it takes like an hour to get to Seattle usually from
Yeah. Yeah.
anywhere. Yeah.
Man, I don't miss that. I live outside of Seattle, and I do not miss that traffic. Like,
Sucks.
geez.
Like I shouldn't have to take that long to get into Seattle because I work in Seattle.
Yeah,
So
right.
that's the other bummer thing is like if I don't live in Seattle, then I don't want to go back home and then go back to Seattle for like a concert,
Yeah,
unless
yeah,
it's the weekend. It's
yeah.
a lot of traffic.
Traffic. Yeah, 100%. It takes energy out of you. I get it. I know. I even living in that area, I live outside of it now, but even living in the area, it was still a lot to like have to every weekend. Like I would go to shows and just it would be just more. It takes more time to get there than it does for the actual show to be on.
Yes.
You
Like
know, like
why?
so in the area and the venues, like have with all the kind of more well-known venues like the Sunset and Tractor Tavern and Showbox and Soto and everything like that. Is there any like shows or any venues you'd want to like perform in the area? Do you kind of dream of being in one of those?
Ooh, there isn't a specific venue that I would want to perform at, but there is this one venue that I think just opened up, and I am really mad that I don't remember the name of it because I just went to a concert not that long ago, a couple months ago, for one of the local artists that I was talking about.
Yeah.
And it was a new venue because at the last second they switched venues to this new place because it had just opened up. And now I'm really sad that I don't remember what the name of it is. But it was really nice. They had like a huge stage and everything. Like
Yeah.
that's like the whole
The
point
whole
of the
thing.
bar
Yeah.
basically is for
Yeah.
performances. And it has like a little upstairs balcony area. It looked really cool.
Wow. Is it in Seattle, you said?
It's like outside. It's on the outskirts of Seattle, so it's
Oh,
like
okay, okay. I
I
was like,
think it's
man,
like
I haven't been
Ballardish
to
area.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Who I'm so curious. Who's the artist that you went to go see?
King Dow.
Oh yeah. He's been my buddy since like 2019. He was one of the very first people to come on the show.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
He's amazing. Yeah, he's my buddy. Shout out to King, man.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
a
he's
he's an
the
awesome guy.
nicest guy. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Just
could
the
not for the
sweetest.
life of me remember why we know each other, but I'm like, I know you, so I'm coming to your I'm coming I was gonna go to one of his shows in October again too.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like it's hilarious because he just knows everybody. It
Yeah.
is unreal to me.
Like he was the one who made me realize that my voice teacher was going to go on a show because she was one of his openers, and I was like,
Yeah.
what is happening? So I like surprised her and went to go see them.
Oh
Really
my God, that's amazing. I love it so much. Yeah, yeah, he's amazing. He's such a cool guy and so locked in. One of the very few people that is just like locked in being a
Oh
musician,
yeah.
making it. He's so driven and I think
Yeah.
that's really important because it's hard. It really, I don't know if people really realize or maybe we've talked about it enough on this show, but like, it is so hard to be an independent artist and to be your own like manager and venue looker and producer and like it's just like the entire list,
I
of
don't
people
have
that
the skills for all of those things.
I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's definitely, do you find it kind of overwhelming now that you're kind of in it more?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it's why I keep like taking long breaks of I need like for me as a person, I need that like person pushing me to get things done sometimes. So like having a manager would be super helpful.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, for like indie artists, you need to get pretty big before that's really
A
makes
thing.
sense
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's the thing I struggle with because if I'm not working with my producer, there's no one telling me to let's get this done,
Right.
And
Yeah.
I could just like, I don't know, sit around and play video games instead.
Yeah. Do you want to is it something you want to do full time, or is this kind of just something that you have found that you just love doing aside from what you're doing? Like if you already found a career or something.
I would love to do it full time.
Yeah.
I would love to quit my job and not have to do that anymore. But
Yeah.
it would also become, a full time job in its own self. So I don't know. I had always envisioned it being my career,
Yeah.
but I'm always iffy about it too, because once it becomes your career, then do you suddenly hate it? That kind of
Yeah.
part.
Well, I think what you're doing now is like finding balance, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't really slack off, but you can definitely make it a career. I mean, I've seen, I have obviously doing this show, I've seen several people be able to achieve that. So it's definitely doable.
Yeah.
But it's definitely hard too. And I think, it takes a lot of energy and a lot of time. But, at the end of the day, if it's what you want, like, dude, make it happen. Just like King does. So I really feel like there's this pull when being an independent artist, that it's this like fear of, and this pull away because of that reason, right? It's like, oh my God, I'll have to figure it all out, and then I'm going to be reliant on that, and you
It
never
won't
know
be
if
fun.
any will fall through, yeah, or something. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot to do, but I think also like you're just very locked into it, I think, is what I understand and what I've seen of your socials and music and stuff like that. Like I really feel like it's something you love.
Yeah, I enjoy doing it. And that's why I'm like, I think that's why I'm so like, wait, I'm having fun now. What if I
Yeah.
have to do it though? Is it fun anymore? Because the
Yeah.
songs that I come up with are stuff that I want to make and that I've just happened to come up with.
Yeah, yeah,
But
right.
what about when I run out of ideas? Not that I would, but like
Yeah.
say along the lines, I'm like reliant on making music. Now I have to make a song because I need money, not necessarily because I want to. It's like
Yeah. Right,
that
right.
weird like forcing yourself to make a song just to make a
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah. I mean that I think that comes with, I think, just finding, the groove of like, okay, maybe one song a month or one song every 2 months, or
Yeah.
I mean, there's just we can talk offline about that, but like there's just so many options. But I think it's cool that you're very invested in it, though. I mean, does this producer that you work with, have you guys worked the whole time you've been in music? Do they just
Yeah.
in there with you?
So I restarted. My first song was in 2011 when I was in
Yes.
high school, and I had a
Okay.
friend who's not the same guy produce that and help me out with that.
Yes.
And then back when I started again, back in 2022,
Yeah.
if
Yes.
I remember correctly,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm taking voice lessons. I have this song idea. Let me find a producer, and that he's been with me ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you guys are locked in. You kind of know each other's vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, that I think that pro I mean, I would think so. My best friend, when she releases a song, she has the same thing. She goes to the same producer. And, I feel like that's always the best, because then you're not trying to reteach them who you are as a musician,
Yep.
right? Like it's like, okay, this is what I hear, this is how I work, because genuinely, I think each artist has their own thing, and so if they know your thing, or
Yeah.
how you sing or how you think or whatever, then it makes it a lot easier, I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of being like, well, this is me.
Yeah.
This is the kind of song that I want to make, and these are my other songs. Like he already knows what they all are because he made them.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Right, right.
like he doesn't
Yeah.
need to fit it into my like discography. Basically, he's
Yeah.
already there. He is the
Yeah.
discography,
Well,
essentially.
and I think it comes to like finding the right person that can do that sound. So you don't want like a country, not that they couldn't
Yeah,
do it, but you don't want like somebody who mostly does country doing pop, or
exactly.
whatever, or metal or something, like
Yeah,
something I'm not familiar with.
yeah, yeah. Like
But
and I think he does have like a certain genres that he just doesn't do because he's
yeah,
like, that's just not, I don't know how to do it well. So like I'm not
yeah,
gonna fake it.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So with that, do you guys does he has his own studio, or do you guys go to a studio, or
So he has a studio in his house. So I just go
oh,
to
that's
his
always
house
awesome.
and do all the recording there. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
think he
always so much
does.
better.
Yeah, I think he does for like if he's doing a whole band and they're doing like a live recording for all the instruments. I think
Mhm.
he'll do a studio, but
Yeah,
he has a ton of instruments. He has like a drum set, he has everything there. So if you
yeah,
don't need to do like a full band performance to record,
yeah,
then we'll all just do it in his room
yeah,
basically.
yeah. I mean, that's amazing. That I think that makes it more comfortable, right? And like
Yeah.
easier, like way less stress.
Yes.
Making a song can be
We're just like
stressful.
sitting around bullshitting. And I
Yeah,
mean, some of the times I'm just kind of like sitting there, like thinking of lyrics or something while
yeah,
he's trying to figure out what he wants the like this section of the song to sound like and then
yeah,
adding stuff into it. And I'm just like, you do your thing, I'm gonna do
yeah.
mine.
So
Yeah.
when you're writing a song, does it usually like come to you pretty quick and you're just like, yes, or
Sometimes,
yeah?
sometimes on rare occasions, sometimes it'll just like, there's one song that I wrote like almost an entire day just cause I don't know. I just had a lot to say and I was like, all
Yeah.
right, let's go. This is the full song. I added maybe a line or two later and that was about it. But other
Yeah.
than that, I feel like I usually come up with either a chorus or like a verse, and then I'm like, okay, well now I gotta try to
Finish it. Yeah.
fill this in with other stuff that makes sense with it.
Yeah. Do you normally write like experience? I mean, obviously everybody is about experience, but like, is it like immediate experience, or is it something like you just think of, or like you're in the car or something? Like, how does that work for you?
It's usually based on like experience, but how I'm feeling about the experience. So
Okay.
usually, like the day that I wrote a song like all in one day, I was like at work writing it
Oh,
in my notes app on
yeah,
my
yeah.
phone. And I was just like do 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 do. So
Yeah.
I was just having a real bad time with the relationship I was in, and I was like, this sucks. I was listening to a song that just kind of like sparked a bunch of thoughts, and I was like, I
Yeah.
have a lot to say all of a sudden.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's a it's a mixture of like, this is my experience, but it's also how I'm feeling about this experience, and I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
And it's not just it's not just to get it off my chest. I feel like I listened to a lot of songs growing up where I was like, "Oh my god, they're saying something in words that like I needed to hear
Yeah.
that I couldn't think of on my own," and it like impacted me in a way where I was like, "Oh man, you're right. The feeling, the
Yeah.
feels, it hits you right in the
Yeah.
feels." And I'm basically like trying to do that for other people where I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe other people have done that, like need to hear something like this
Yeah.
for this weird experience that I'm going through. And I will write it in a way that will hit
They'll
like,
connect.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When you have you ever found that it's like the reward is back to you a lot, like putting out a song and somebody actually connecting in the way that you kind of wanted to translate it in? Has there been some reward in people telling you like, yes, this has changed my life, or whatever that
There was
is?
only one instance of that ever happening, but it was like the best thing I've ever experienced. It was a song that I wrote about a situationship that I had like had for way too many years and just
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
kept going back to.
We all been
And
there.
I was like, okay, I was like, not only have we gotten to the age and the generation of people that have all experienced this at this point,
Yeah.
also just like an ongoing topic that you never see like
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the new trend. It's like, oh, that's the ongoing trend that never stops, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Right.
When I wrote that song, I was like, this is a
Yeah.
song I'd been working on for years. And I had someone who was friends with me on Facebook through a friend of a friend of somebody. I don't entirely know how I know them even. But they reached out and they were like, this song like really got me to think about my life, and it got me to end the like situationship that I was in, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
That's
Like
amazing.
that's good. Like that's not
Yeah.
at all what I could have imagined would have happened from that song being released, because I was
Yeah.
really just like, I don't know, complaining about what it's
Yeah.
like, really.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But if it gets you to a point where you're like, why am I still doing this? It's very rewarding to know that I had that kind of impact on somebody.
Right. Yeah. That your words, I find it interesting too. Like recently we released a song and it's the same thing and it's crazy. Like you go, how? Like something I wrote or something I like you're always the one listening, right? And always
Yeah.
that's how you're feeling, but to have that retract back is just the craziest feeling. I agree. Like it's weird.
Yeah, because you're like, no way, no one would ever
Yeah.
that happen. No, it's just words that I came up with. But like the same with any song that's affected you, that's just words that they came up with and put it to a song, and
Here we
it
are. Yeah.
affects you. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's like, no, I'm not capable of that, but like everybody is apparently.
Yeah. Oh
You can't.
yeah. I mean and that's I think the beauty of being a musician or maybe even an independent artist because you can connect a little more with people, you know.
Yeah.
Um and you get to see it in real time rather than you know, not that you don't want to be, you know, rather than Britney Spears who performed in front of millions of people and only saw the first three rows, you know, like
Yeah.
you don't know how the millionth person in the back is feeling, you know. So I think that's probably one of the better things of being an independent artist is because you get to have that more like connection. Have you ever had like really good like talks or anything with anybody? Like have you, I mean obviously that one, but like at a show or anything like that?
No, no, I haven't.
Right.
I have not done enough shows, I think, to get to that point. Most of the people that I have talks with that are in the kind of like good talk like that are people that I already kind of consider a
Um,
friend anyways. So
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
I know you well enough. Like I don't feel like you're a fan. You're here supporting me as a friend, basically. So
yeah. Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
nice though.
You'll get there. You'll
Yeah.
get there. It's I mean, I think that's probably one of the better parts of it, you know, once you get to that point, like you see all these people come up to you after the show or before the show or whatever, and it's pretty awesome. Like I we got to get you plugged in so you can feel some
Yeah.
of that. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I love knowing the people, but I can't
Yeah.
imagine like having people come up to me and not knowing me personally, but having something to say about
Yeah.
my music. That
Yeah.
I feel like that would hit differently.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. Yes. And it goes back to like them saying like the lady that you were talking about, like who it impacted. Like it goes back to that of like being in person and being like this directly affected me and you're the reason why it did and
Yeah.
I just want to say thanks, you know, or whatever it is, you know,
Yeah.
like the being there and like the hugging and the, you know, it's always so emotional. You know, like
Yeah.
I
Well,
love
especially
it.
because when I was younger, like you didn't get that opportunity. Like maybe I just didn't know about it. But
Yeah.
back then, I don't feel like indie artists were as big of a thing or
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
acceptable of a thing. So
Yeah.
for me to be able to like go up to an artist that I was like impacted by and say something to them is a whole thing I can't even conceptualize, because most of
Yeah.
that would be like, I don't know, like big artists like Britney Spears or like
Yeah.
Taylor
Yeah.
Swift, where you're like, you're not going to be able to ever say that to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, right.
So that's so cool to have that be a thing that people can do now. They can just go up
Yeah.
to you and be like, "Hey, I loved this song. It impacted me so much, and I just saw you perform it." Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I think the moment I realized like I was when doing this, like um I and also I mean I've had two ways. Like in doing this show, I went to like almost 20 or 25 shows a month, right? And so I got to meet a lot of people, but also like they would come and be like, "You're the chick that does the like local music scene." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, thanks." I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I'm like, cool.
Oh, that's cool. I'm glad
Like
you
you
love
never,
it.
yeah, yeah. Or in seeing my song played live and people just bawling or reacting or whatever, you're just like, okay. And they're like, that's
Yeah.
such a great song. And you're like, thanks. Like,
What?
I get it.
That's so
I don't know.
wild to me because most of my stuff is still like, I don't know, like I, I guess
And
I
you,
have
yes.
like plays that I can
Yeah,
see digitally, but it's like those don't really mean anything until you actually see the people, like you're
yeah,
saying, where they're
yeah,
like actually listening and feel something from your songs. You're like,
yeah,
whoa,
yeah.
it's getting to people actually instead
Yeah,
of digital numbers where it's
yeah,
like that
yeah.
could be anybody or it could be
Okay.
not a person.
Yeah, right. Well, and it's that, I think that's where, you come back to why you do music, right? Like it's not just a selfish. I don't think doing music is really selfish. I think it's you're sharing a part of yourself with everybody else and hoping to find the tribe that listens to it,
Yeah.
And so there becomes this like community of people that you end up like sharing, and
Yeah.
um it's a beautiful thing but also just so rewarding in the end when you realize people are like that where you're like, man, like thanks for listening, like thanks for taking 5 minutes out of your day or 3 minutes, whatever the song is,
Yeah.
listening and hearing what I'm saying. And because it do you find that it's like hard to kind of get across the emotion, like you like, or are you in it? Like, is it like you're writing in it?
I feel like I can't perform or do anything without the emotion. even
Yeah.
like even like practicing for like me performing on this interview, like
Yeah.
I can't just like go through the motions of like I'm gonna sing through the
Right.
song. It's like no,
Yeah.
I have to be all in it or like not at all. There's no like off
Yeah.
switch. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, that's always better, right? Because
Yeah.
then the people get the real emotion from it rather than I've played Oops, I Did It Again 300,000 times. And by the
Yeah.
300,000th time, I'm like, all right, like
Yeah. Whoop.
yeah,
Get it
yeah.
done.
Side, like you're just like, okay, So
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, it's you have to kind of be in it and really feel and play and that emotion. But it comes to I think the fact that well, here's the thing. Here's the question. Do you plan it out like I'm gonna release this and like there's a whole thing around it, or do you just kind of release and hope it does well, or
Oh,
like
yeah. So I am definitely not a like what's the word that I'm looking for? Like a spontaneous releaser.
yeah,
I
yeah,
plan things out where I'm like, okay, I have a song done and this is what I'm going to do to like promote it, or like this is the visuals behind it and this is
yeah,
all the stuff that I'm going to do leading up to it,
yeah,
because most of the stuff I've done so far is just singles. So
yeah. Well,
when
that's
I
what
have
everybody's
a song
doing.
done, I'm like, okay, I can release it, let's say on this date in a month or two, and then these are all the things I need to make beforehand
Yeah,
and post about beforehand, and then the stuff I'm going to post about afterwards. It's very meticulously planned out.
I was gonna say, are you kind of obsessive about it?
A little bit.
Yeah, yeah,
A little bit. I try to not, but it's hard not to because I
yeah, Yeah.
I hold on to songs once I've got them done. As excited as I am for people to hear them, I
Yeah.
would much rather get the promotion behind it done correctly instead of
Yeah.
just being like, here's a song, hope
Yeah.
somebody finds it.
Yeah.
I like to give all of the like visuals and the story behind it with the song coming out instead of
Yeah.
just being like, here's a random song.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite that you've put out so far?
I do. I
Yeah?
do. Yeah. And it's one that I was gonna do today.
Yay. Well,
Yeah.
I'd like to hear it and know kind of like the behind it,
The
the
behind it.
story the story behind it. The behind I call it the behind because
The
you're behind the
behind.
scenes, but
Behind. Yeah. So my favorite that I've done so far because it meant a lot to me. Not just it was a rough time, but it just meant a lot to me to make it. And so it's called Built Your Own Narrative. And it was basically about being with someone who had built up their own narrative of not only our relationship and like how I was feeling about it, but
Mhm.
just like how their life was going. And
Mm.
it was it reminded me of someone who only lived in their head and not like in the real world. So I was
Yeah.
trying to play with those aspects of having someone living in their head, but you're out here, you're like trying to be
Yeah.
in a relationship with someone like that.
Yeah.
So I tried to play with a lot of visuals. I honestly want to
Yeah.
like make a music video for it because there was so much stuff I didn't finish making
Yeah.
with it just based
Yeah.
on doability.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah. Well, can we hear it right now?
Sure.
Yeah.
Go
Okay.
for it.
All right, guys.
All right. Let's get this. Well, you built your own narrative. So tell me what I've been feeling, and I'll keep proving you wrong. But all my words ring empty, 'cause you're not really here. Stuck in a future you built, but only you can see it. Tell me how I'll react before I even get the chance. I can't break you out now. Drop that pen and turn around. You can't even hear me. Fixating on your made up story. So you said you never fit in. I guess I was the only one who really felt like you did. I'll never be louder than the voice inside your head. Well, you built your own narrative. So tell me what I've been feeling, and I'll keep proving you wrong. But all my words ring empty, 'cause you're not really here. The stories you tell are warped. You're dictating the perspective. Left me out of the plot. Wrapped up in your realities. The whole world moves by while we don't see eye to eye. I'll never be louder than the voice inside your head. Well, you built your own narrative. So tell me what I've been feeling, and I'll keep proving you wrong. But all my words ring empty, 'cause you're not really here. Maybe you care or maybe you don't, but you keep it all locked inside. Well, you built your own narrative, so tell me, what the hell are you seeing? Well, you built your own narrative, so tell me what I've been feeling, and I'll keep proving you wrong. But all my words ring empty, 'cause you're not here.
What?
Ooh.
I need like a clap track. You know, the like, ha.
Yeah.
I just do not do it justice. That's awesome. I feel like that's a very okay. The chorus I think has a really good a really good really good lyrics to it, because I feel like you've encapsulated like that feeling that you were talking about. Like it really did. I was very impressed, honestly.
Yay. Yeah, I get a little obsessive over my lyrics sometimes.
I feel like those of us that just can do lyrics and have a hard time with melody, I feel like that's the place that we do that. It's like, nope, this has to go meticulous and be very into it perfectly. Or do you have a hard time like changing words?
Yeah.
Like
especially when they don't fit with the melody, where I'm like, this doesn't make they don't fit together right now, but I can't figure out a better word. And
yeah. Does your producer ever suggest to change things?
Yeah, so he's very helpful with like lyrical changes. Sometimes he'll come up with suggestions that I don't like, and then we'll argue about it. But I have hard and fast rules where I'm like, this is I cannot get rid of this kind of line, or these are like throwaway lines. Like, sometimes we just X out a whole line or add more in depending on what we want to do with the song. So
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I've had that too, where it's one that I did when I was like really young, in my 20s, and like I was like, no, it has to be like these lines, and he's like, it doesn't fit. Doesn't fit, man.
Yeah,
you gotta figure something else out.
Yeah, I swear he did the same thing to me, and I was like, you don't understand, I'm gonna make it fit. Like,
you
just
have
let
to
me
figure
sing
it
it
out.
and I will fit it into words are malleable, you can make them fit.
Yeah well, there's always this like okay, find a different way to say it then, so it'll fit. Like
yeah, that's my struggle, where I get so fixated on like one way of saying it that I'm like, my brain can't come up with a better way, and then I have to like ask other people, how would you say this, but like differently.
Yeah, exactly. Do you find with having like a vocal coach that it kind of gives you a little bit more confidence to be able to have be able to more confident in the song and how you're gonna sing it too?
Yeah, because I definitely have done, like, if I'm struggling with a song, or if I'm struggling with like a specific thing, where I think I came into one of our vocal lessons one time and I was like, how would I like, can we do a practice of like picking different melodies to something? So she would have me do like, I think we did like a Taylor Swift song, and she's like, sing a different melody than what the melody you're used to is. And I was like, oh, what do you mean? It was really interesting though, because she's like, I don't care what words you use, just sing a different melody that's not the the original melody of the song. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is an interesting like exercise
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
need to think of something else.
Yeah. I always had to with him, it was always like I would have to take if it's a line that doesn't fit, he'd make me write like four different versions of it. You know, you have to like figure out, you know, like how a different way to say it or a different way to look at it or a different word, you know, like clear or, you know, I don't know, crystal or something like that, you know, like to figure out like autumn or fall or, you know, whatever. The leaves are
Yep.
brown and yellow or, you know, however you want to go about it. But, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not writing a song at the moment. So my brain is like, we're not in that mode. But yeah, like it's I find it kind of interesting to try and think of something different when you've already wrote it down and it's already like on paper.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I mean, is it like have you ever had to like change almost a whole song, like really rearrange it,
Um,
or a
thankfully
verse to a
no.
chorus or something like that?
Thankfully no, but sometimes I'll like have in my head of like I originally thought this was going to be the chorus and it's actually like it's either now it's going to be the pre-chorus or it's going
Oh
to
yeah,
be
yeah.
the verse instead and we're going to totally write a new chorus and it's
Yeah.
like as long as the words are there it doesn't really mean much
Yeah. Yeah.
usually.
Yeah. Do you guys work on the hook first?
Not always, no. Not
Really?
unless it's the like part of the song that I came up with first. Because
Okay.
most of the time, what we'll do is he'll ask me like, "What's your idea?" or like, "What's your song?" And then I'm like, "Okay, I gotta either look through my notes app or look through my voice memos, and then I'll
Yeah.
have like, okay, this is the one where I have like 4 different voice memos because I already have enough written that I
Yeah.
have a solid enough idea to like present it to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
of my songs currently now are like, here's some lyrics, but I don't have any like melody for it. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
going to be harder for us to work with because there's not much for him to build if there's no melody or like idea behind it.
Yeah. But I mean, is that not the best part of like like making the song though and
Yeah.
producing it is kind of getting to that point? Like, do you have fun in the actual making of it and the recording and the all of that behind the scenes stuff, or is it do you just like wish you could not be a part of that?
It's a bit of both. Sometimes, like it depends on the song, and it depends on my mood. I think
Yeah.
there have been some
Okay.
songs where I was like, "Ugh, I hate
Yeah.
this part," and some of the times where I'm like, "This is awesome. I love this." I
Yeah.
feel like most of the time when I hate it, it's because I didn't have a fleshed out enough idea of what I wanted the song to be, and
Mm.
so I'm just trying to come up with something on the spot to like
Yeah.
present to him
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
And it becomes more and more frustrating because then when I come out with a fleshed out idea later, I'm like, okay, we need to scrap what we did and restart.
Yeah.
Let's do this instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been there. It's hard. I think going back, okay, so with the songs you've written for quite a while now, is it hard to go back to them because you're a different person now? Or
Kind of, yeah.
yeah.
So I think the one that I wrote about the situationship,
Yeah.
it had been sitting there for so long and I mean, I took so many fragments out of it that I was like, okay, this is what I want. And then I changed it. Like I really
Yeah.
did. I morphed it into what I was feeling at the time and added new stuff. And I was like, this is what the song is going to be now. There are songs that I still have from like, I don't know, 2011,
Yeah.
back when I was in high school. And I don't know that I'm going to be able to go back to those.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
just too different from how I am now. And I want to restart them basically.
Yeah. Do you have a lot in your catalog of like voice memos and notes?
Yeah.
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 Well, I think we all do,
Some
but
of
yeah.
them is just like, here's a line that I had one time. It was like, okay, that's not a song yet, but it could be
Yeah.
someday.
Yeah. How do you come up with the titles? Are you like a title first and then the song, or lyrics and
Um,
hear it
it
and go from there?
depends. It
Yeah.
depends on the song, really, because I think one of the ones that I was working on before we took a break, I was like, I have this idea and the concept for the song, and I have lyrics, but I was like, not really like dead set on a title for the song.
Yeah.
But like, there are others where I was like, this is the title of the song because it just made sense with my feelings and like the
Yeah.
lyrics that I had already written. I was like, this is the title, duh.
Yeah.
There are other ones where I'm like, what's the title of this one gonna be?
Yeah.
Like,
Are you because you grew up in the high school era. I was in my 20s, but in that era of like Fall Out Boy and the emo doing like long ass
oh
titles
my
that are
god, yeah.
you know that are just ridiculous. So I was just curious if it had kind of impacted how you do it,
Mm,
and how you come up with them, or are you just kind of like for me, even though that is the era that I love music, I also just come up with like one or two words, like
yeah.
I'm not
I
in that like this is a whole entire song of the words.
No, I don't like the titles to be really long because it doesn't feel like a title then. It feels like a short summary, I guess. And
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't have enough uh words that are unique to
Mm.
outside of the song. Like,
Well,
I guess for me, doing a long title would be like a spoiler for what what I'm gonna say in the song. And I'm
yeah.
trying not to like word for word do that.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of feel like it is that too. That was such an like I think if I feel like it still happens. Like Taylor Swift has done it. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it still kind of happens now, but it's interesting to me because some people feel like that's just how you get across it. And then there's other times where people are like just one word will suffice. Like one of mine was like the moment and then they just ended up changing it to like spark, you know? And so it
Oh,
was like it was just like there's like one word or it's like a whole sentence of words, or
I
a
feel
whole
like
thing.
it depends on like, okay, well, what the word is and what the song
Yeah,
is about. Like,
yeah,
I have one song that is one word, but it makes sense because it's like a verb. It's not
yeah.
like, I don't
Does it
know.
have to be in within the word has to be in the song, or do
It
you
doesn't
know
have
like
to be, but I feel like for me, for what I'm doing, I am one of those that's like the title very much is going to be in the
in
song.
the song?
Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're
That's
going
me
to
too.
know that it's the title.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Instead
yeah,
of there are some bands that do like the title, they'll just title it something and they
yeah.
don't say that anywhere in the song, and
At all. Yeah. Oh,
maybe
I know a couple that do that. And I was just curious because I'm the same way too. I wanted to have some sort of relevance to the song, or a word that's somewhere within it.
yeah,
So it doesn't have to necessarily be the hook, but it could be something else. But yeah, I was just curious how your process goes with that because so many people are so different about it. And it's the title, I think, is what, draws people in. And so it's interesting to see how people think about it and if it's
yeah.
important or if it's just, I know one guy, he just puts a word there, has no idea what the title is, doesn't care, and he just puts a word and you're like, I'm not sure this word really fit with
Probably
that.
fits
But
with what you're doing.
yeah, but so I was just curious.
Yeah, at least, and I think that's like it depends on the genre too of what you're doing for
Yeah,
like
that's true
title
too.
wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me and the stuff that I like to listen to, I like the title to be memorable because otherwise, like,
Exactly. Yeah.
if I don't remember what your song is called and it's not anywhere in the lyrics so that I could like sing it and like Google
Remember.
it
Yeah.
and it'll
Yeah.
come up, then
Yeah.
it's going to be hard for me to find your song maybe. because I
Yeah.
wasn't paying attention to what it was called.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I find it interesting. Sometimes the titles are so important to people and the song is just kind of whatever. And then it's the song is important, the title is whatever.
Yeah,
So it's just interesting to see who finds it in like the most important or not. Because then that's who they remember you by, right?
yeah,
Like um I'm trying to think of like um I don't know. I mean, there's so many, but like, I was trying to think of like one where it's just like you, as soon as you hear it, like Sweet Home Alabama, let's just say, because that just came to my brain. Like everyone on the planet, you could Sweet Home Al, you could
yeah.
sing, you know. So I feel
Just
like
from saying the title, you already
yeah,
know.
yeah, and the or Caroline,
Yep.
Sweet Carol, whatever. So I don't want to sing it all because I don't want YouTube to ban me, but but like it's those kind of things where like I feel like it's interesting because you want it to be that way. You want it to be that memorable of like that they remember your name too, and
Yeah,
so yeah,
exactly. That's the point. Is like I want it to be memorable. Same reason
yeah,
why like a good hook is good because
yeah,
stuck
that's
in
true
people's
too.
heads, then they're gonna remember it because it's gonna be playing over and over.
In their head. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you find anybody that you'd like to I mean, obviously maybe Taylor Swift, but is there anybody else you would like to like dream of opening for?
I feel like there are some indie artists that I would love to open for. I don't know if you know who Lolo is. I think that's what it is. Brooke Alex is a big pop artist that's getting bigger. Love her stuff.
Yeah, I've heard of her. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's just a lot of like artists that I listen to that I've never heard outside of like my Spotify algorithm. But
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah, but like trying to think of other ones.
Have you heard of Hallie Gray?
I don't think so. No.
No. I think you'd be a great or Her Mountain Majesty.
Mm,
No, like
no.
there's a ton I could see you opening for or on a bill with, honestly.
Yeah.
But I was just curious because I was wondering if maybe you had like this because you're so determined. Like it just feels like very like so locked in. And I was like, oh, maybe there's somebody she really wants to like play with. And putting it out there. Some people watch it, so I mean,
That's
you never
true.
know. I
There
mean,
are people I would love to play with that I've even met on threads, and there are so many that I could list them forever. There's
well,
so many.
you should maybe one of these days, maybe on your socials or something, put it out there and see what happens and see who'll bring you on their bill. You never know.
I know that's true. I would love to.
That's how you get to open for them. You got to put it out there and put it in the universe. At least that's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't ask, they can't
They
say
don't
yes.
know. They don't know what they don't know.
It's true. Like you can't just be handed things without asking.
Yeah. Does your producer play live with you, or do you have just the backup?
No. Yeah, I just have backing tracks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, do you ever feel like you maybe in the future want to get like a band or something?
That would be cool. I feel like it will be really hard. From how many people I know are still struggling to do that for themselves, I'm like, oh, yeah, that sounds hard.
Yeah, I
Especially when I'm
guess.
not like exactly going to be helping in the band other than the vocals, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think going back to the beginning, right? Of like you just kind of have to be locked in and know, like the venue and how much you're going to charge and all of those kinds of things. So I feel like once you kind of know all of that and once you have a pretty good set, I feel like it kind of comes it's just putting it out there and asking people to be in your band.
Yeah.
Do you have anybody you'd like to like have in your band, like play with you, not for you, with you?
I feel like I do, but they're not like anybody local, so like it wouldn't actually work, like
Well, that
I
defeats
need
the
more
purpose.
local people to like know before then.
Yeah, that's funny. I was hoping maybe you knew a couple of people and maybe we could just
That would be
coerce them
awesome. I
to.
wish.
Well, I'm so excited. Do you want to play one more song before we head out?
Sure.
Yeah,
Let's do
let's
it.
do it. Let's do it.
Speaking of song names, this is actually the only song that isn't named right as a lyric. So this song is called Game of Life, but I never actually say that line anywhere in the song.
Okay. Okay.
If our title talk told you anything, this is the only song that does that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Okay, let me get ready. Nothing I ever did or said was right. Why do you always feel like I'm trying to start a fight? You're following some script you wrote, but I see through every line you quote. Different day, same old story, playing your game for all the glory. Ooh, you're only showing up to win that damn trophy. You're living life like it's a game. Follow all the rules and I'll call your name. Keep checking all the right boxes. You think you get your desired responses, but life doesn't work that way. You say no one thinks you care, 'cause your emotions have never been there. But you'll keep on trying the same patterns you've been applying. You follow all my needs, never ask for your own, but still wonder why this is the only cycle you've ever known. Then still wonder why this is the only cycle you've ever known. You're living life like it's a game. Follow all the rules and they'll call your name. Keep checking all the right boxes. You think you'll get your desired responses, but life doesn't work that way. But I can hear you talking about me to the next, like you told me all about your ex. It's all that plays through my head. You're living life like it's a game. Follow all the rules and I'll call your name. Keep checking all the right boxes. You think you'll get your desired responses, but life doesn't work that way. You're living life like it's a game. Follow all the rules and they'll call your name. Keep checking all the right boxes. You think you'll get your desired responses, but life doesn't work that way.
Yay! Woo. Doesn't want to go off. There we go. Yay! I like that one too, man. That had a good groove.
That one
The
was so
grooves of
hard to
it.
perfect with the grooving.
Yeah, that was a good groove. I was like, this is a almost what do you call that? Like a what is his name? Like Bob Marley,
Oh yeah, yeah,
like a dun dun dun
yeah.
dun,
It
dun
was
you
very
know.
funky.
I feel like I should be in front of an ocean or something. The song had nothing to do with that, but I was like, this is kind of a good groove with
Right?
that.
I don't. I just. I don't know why we ended up doing that for this one, but it was too much fun not to.
Yeah, that's a really fun beat. I really liked it. That was great. That was awesome. Well, friend, thank you for coming on and sharing your
Yeah.
music with us. My gosh.
Thanks for having me.
I know you're pretty awesome. Where can people find you?
You can find me pretty much anywhere at Brenna Menz. I have my own website, brennamenz.com. You can find me on all the socials. YouTube, I do a lot of random shenanigans
Yeah.
that are
Oh,
not always music related. But
I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on and being willing to share your music and your ideas and your career so far. I look forward to being able to get you plugged in because I think you're awesome.
thank you. Yeah, I need to meet the right people.
Yeah, I mean, well, and that's a lot of like why I like doing this show because it gives people some exposure to other people in the scene wherever they are, wherever you never know and who they know. So
True. It's always about who you know.
exactly, especially in this business.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, please go check her out and please, follow her and also check out some of her music. I think she's pretty amazing. So please support her and shower her with some love. And those of you that heard it maybe want to have her open for you and put her on a bill. Just
Yeah,
saying. Right
I'll do
there.
it. I'm crazy like that.
Well, thank you for joining and thank you everybody who is watching. There's a couple that watched all the way through, so thank you very much.
Ah,
We appreciate that and thank you for the likes and the comments. And we will talk to you guys next week. Bye.
bye.